Hello.
Hey,
Welcome to the Halloween edition of the DJ's podcast. I am dressed up as Travis Kelsey.
and I'm dressed up as someone who knows something about football.
All right. Okay, last week, our picks, we didn't have a lot of them,
Yeah,
and we ended up 55 or whatever, 500 overall. So let's just go through
yeah,
it really quick. Excuse me. Josh and I went opposite just for 1 star on
yeah.
the Packers Jags. The Packers won't kick the field goal at the end. They win by 3, so I got that one
Yeah,
by a little bit. It was a very back and forth game.
yeah.
It was just pretty much close the whole way. The Jags, I think,
Weird.
even took a lead of 7 or 10 points at one
Yeah.
point, but
Well, Jordan Love got himself injured, so
that's true.
that was the thing, and he didn't even finish. They finished the game with Malik Willis. So
Yeah, he was out, I think, all of the fourth quarter and part of
yeah,
the third, maybe. Willis
yeah,
led a touchdown drive and led the drive that got him the
yeah,
field goal.
yeah,
All right, so the next one, you had the Cardinals for 2 stars, and you got that. They kicked another
yeah,
field goal at the end of the game. That's
yeah.
2 weeks in a row. I don't know, the little positivity for the
Mm-hmm.
Cardinals. 2 weeks in a row they won. I had the Browns, and they won the game outright. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the spread was
They did.
9, and they won the game outright. That was 2 stars. I had that. I got the Titans horribly wrong. I think they were ahead like 14-10 maybe or something like that. But I mean, when you give up 52, obviously the Lions are probably one of, if not the best offenses in the NFL,
Mhm.
and the Titans are just a disaster. So that was, in retrospect, a little bit maybe silly just because a bad team on the road against the team that's probably playing better than anyone
Mhm.
else in the NFL.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe just stay away from those next time. So I got that wrong. That was a 2 star. And then you had the Seahawks for three
I was drunk
stars.
on crack. I don't know what I
Yeah.
was thinking. That was a dumb,
They
dumb.
didn't show up to the stadium. The Bills smashed the
No.
Seahawks, and I will say that I thought the Bills were going to have a little bit of a down year, losing some of their wide receivers, and they have not done that. They're like 6-2, and
Josh Allen's too good. That's just it. He's the Josh Allen's too good.
yeah,
He's too good of a quarterback.
he's done better with less than I thought he would. He's
Yeah.
done very well.
Plus weak division. Let's not. Also go back. Cardinals, your division leading Arizona
That's
Cardinals.
true. They
Division at 4-4, division leading Arizona Cardinals. Could be
Yeah,
5-4 after this week.
them and the Niners are 4-4, and they beat the Niners.
So are the Hawks too, I think. They're all 4-4.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. The Seahawks were 3-0, then 3-3, then
And then,
4-3,
then
then
now they're
4-4. Yeah.
4-4. Yeah.
All right.
Woo!
Okay. Week
Football
9 is done.
analysis. Let's do it.
Let's move on to week niner. Okay, 8 weeks down. What is there? 18 total weeks. We're
We're
not
just
even
over the halfway.
halfway.
This would be the halfway point. We're crossing the halfway. Halfway through this would be
After this week. Exactly.
yeah.
50%.
With 17 games, 18 weeks. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Got it.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
My shoulder pad came out. All right. Tonight we
Yes.
have a Halloween bash between the Texans
Yes.
and the Jets. And I will say preseason, this was like, oh man, this could really be a good
Yep.
game. Both
Yep.
teams could be like 1 or 2 losses.
No.
No.
Stinko now, probably.
Texans at the Jets. I said Texans by 1.5.
Uh-huh. I had the Texans giving 4.5.
All right.
Because that's how much I think of the Jets. And Vegas likes the Jets a lot more than I do.
Opened at Jets by 1, and it's up to Jets by 2.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say, so we both missed it by a decent amount. I do not understand this. I get that one, but who, like, how can you favor the Jets? They just lost at New England.
Mhm.
Patriots have been one of the, excuse me,
Worst.
well, they beat the Bengals on the road in week 1,
Yep.
and since then they've been one of the 2 or 3 worst teams in the league.
Yes.
And the Jets just lost to them. The
Yeah.
Jets are 2-6.
Mhm.
Like, how are the Jets favored in this game? Like, how do you expect them to just like start playing well?
I don't. It's like I don't get it. It's like it doesn't make any sense considering how well the Houston Texans have organized themselves. I know that game to game, they maybe haven't looked as good as you might hope them to be at 6-2 and the 2 seed in the AFC, but they seem to be doing things the right way, building up foundationally. They've got their quarterback. They seem to get their coach. They just know how to. You have that combination. You're going to win week in and week out. The Jets are a stupid dumpster fire. They've made two giant moves, a trade and firing their head coach, and they still lost. They got no bump whatsoever from either of those things. This line makes no sense, and it's stupid garbage.
So a couple things. The Jets lost to the Patriots, even though they did not turn the ball over and they
Yes.
gave up fewer than 250
Yes.
yards of total offense to the Patriots. And they're like the first team in like 757
Yeah.
games where that
Yeah,
happened
it's-
to
yeah.
to lose the game. So I don't know what that means. Did they have like a shanked punt or like two shanked punts where the Patriots didn't have to go very far to score? I don't know. I'd have to look back at like what exactly happened, but so there's that.
Yes.
Stefan Diggs tore his ACL, so he's out. Although he wasn't doing a ton. Like I don't think his stats were that great. So obviously it still hurts,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe that's part of it. But I just don't like. I don't understand. Like, why does anyone expect the Jets to just start playing well?
Yeah, for them to just
like
figure it out.
If this game's close, like I just don't expect the Jets to win. Now, that being said, like more often than not, it seems like there's a reason why things are like this, like why the Jets are favorite. I just don't see it. So I'm definitely torn on this one, and I don't have an opinion. Like I don't know what to think. Head says my head says Jets, and my heart says Texans, sort of a thing, and I just can't pick.
I mean, I want Texans here all the way, right? Like you can put me down for Texans. I'll put a star on it just because the line's so weird. But I mean, Texans not just to cover, but win outright.
All right, Josh has the Texans for 1 star.
Maybe short week 2 has something to do with it. Both of them played though this weekend. It's not like
Yeah.
they're coming off a bye.
Right. I don't know.
And it's not cross country, right? Texas, as last I checked, was in the middle, right? It's in the middle of the
Yeah.
United States. Geography not my
Ish.
strongest subject, but you know.
Okay,
Time
so
zone.
the other thing to check there is the one thing that is tough to kind of keep the pulse of is, like, do they have other injuries? Like, are they missing a couple linemen or something like that? Those things could definitely matter, and it's not always the first thing that you're paying attention to. But
True.
let's move on. So
Clearly, we're not paying attention to it.
we only, I think we have 2 teams on bye this week. It's the Steelers
Yeah.
and someone else. So we have 15 games this
Yeah.
week. We're going to go to the Saints at the Panthers. I have the Saints by 6.
I went with the Panthers by 1.5 because I didn't. But David Carr is coming back, I think, right?
Derek
Carr.
Yeah.
Derek Carr. Oh yeah, I was talking about the older brother.
David. No, are they related?
Yeah, David Carr's
Really?
older brother. Yeah.
I didn't think they
Yeah.
were brothers, but yeah, David Carr played for the Texans like 20 years ago.
Yes, he did. He was like their inaugural quarterback coming out of their first draft as an expansion team.
Okay. All right. So Saints, it opened at Saints by 5 and it's up to 7.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like it's not Spencer Rattler, so that's probably the fear. I didn't think about that when.
Yeah, I definitely
I
did
picked that.
check to see if Carr was supposed to play, and he obviously is supposed to play
Clearly.
with this line.
Much better team.
And Bryce Young started last week, right?
No,
pretty
he started. Bryce Young.
Well, he played quite a bit.
He played
2 weeks ago when Dalton was horrible, but I thought Bryce Young played. Who started at QB for Panthers week 8? Bryce Young did start last
He did,
week.
okay.
And they got blown out by
Yeah.
the Broncos.
Yeah, they
Well,
doubled
like,
them up.
3 or 4 touchdowns. Peyton was yelling at the Panthers guy after the game saying, like, play
Yeah.
better. We're not running up the score. I don't know.
224 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. That's not terrible for Bryce Young. Over
Yeah,
200 yards, 2 tutties.
that's
2
not
interceptions.
terrible. ...
But it's not good.
For Bryce Young.
Yeah, for Bryce Young, it's not good. But look, like Baker, I mean, he doesn't have the yardage, but Baker Mayfield is a turnover machine this year. I mean, the touchdown numbers are gaudy and the yards are gaudy, but he's turned the ball over a little bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
This one, I mean, Carr's back. The Saints defense has been so Jekyll and Hyde. Like sometimes some games they just can't tackle.
Yep.
You can't trust the Panthers, and Carr first game back. I don't know how you trust them, especially with their wishy-washy defense. So again, like 7 can be a lot on the road, but at the same time, how you trust the Panthers? I don't have an opinion.
You can't. I mean, I really feel like this is just too big a line for the Saints. Even if Carr's back, he's just back, and they've not shown themselves to be a good team. But this does also feel like a stay away. Just wow, that number is huge though. That 7 is just big. I just feel like the Saints are one team that should never be favored.
Yeah.
This year by that many. I don't care what the situation is.
But they did beat the Panthers by like 30 some in week 1.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't know.
The Panthers aren't any good.
That's true. Let's just move on. I don't know. Like the Panthers deserve no airtime.
Nope.
None. Okay. Now we have the Washington Commanders at the Giants.
The number 2 seed right now in the NFC. Your Washington Commanders.
Yeah.
Looking pretty good.
I have the Commanders by 3.
They got to get them 4.5.
Okay. What do we got?
It's 4.
Open at 3.5 and it's up to 4. You got it.
Oh, good. I get 1. At least 1 this week. Thankfully.
So I'm up 2-1. Josh gets that one.
I do. Yes.
I mean, it's fair, right? The Giants have played some teams tough and just can't win a close game, and they've been blown out a couple times too.
It's functionally a touchdown, right? Like, because the Washington's on the road, so it's functionally a touchdown.
Yeah, on a neutral field, it'd be a touchdown. Which, yeah, I mean, it's fair. Like, who did the Giants just play?
Oh, they played them. Yeah.
The Giants play. Oh, they just played in prime time against the Steelers.
That's right. They were the Monday night game.
They sort of tried to cover. It was close a lot of the game, and they lose by 8. I think the spread was 6. But like it's a 1-score game at the Steelers. I mean, the Steelers have been one of the better teams in the NFL.
No question.
So again, they kind of played tough against a pretty good team and just lost by 1 score. So the Commanders, for those of you who didn't see it, I don't want to put salt in the wound to my buddy over here, but so the Commanders win on a Hail Mary. They beat the Bears. They went up. They kicked 4 field goals. It was 12-0, I think, at halftime.
Yeah.
Then the Bears found a little life, scored a touchdown, and then the Bears scored another touchdown and got the 2-point conversion to go up 15-12 with like 30 seconds left or something like that. And then the Commanders convert a Hail Mary just to keep things short.
Off a deflection, yeah.
So when such things happen, like obviously an emotional win, that's huge. That's about as big of a high as you can get for like a single game win. Usually teams kind of are in a little bit of a low spot after that. So you got a divisional game on the road. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think the Giants have given up. Their defense has played well. They didn't give up a single touchdown to the Commanders the first time they played. Like, I do like the Giants a little bit here. I don't like them a lot just because, again, you can't really trust the Giants. But a home divisional game against a team that they played, like they defended Jaden Daniels pretty well. They had the whole...
Plus, he's still injured.
Bend, don't break.
He's got that rib thing still.
Yeah. So I think the Giants just has to be the right side. I don't love it because it's the Giants, but I'm going to go 2 stars on the Giants.
You've been pretty successful this year with picking the Giants in this format.
Yeah, it's been hit and miss. I did get them on the road against the Seahawks. They won that game outright too.
Yeah.
All right. So
All right.
if the Giants want to be somewhat competitive the rest of the way, like what are they, 2-6 or something like that?
Yes.
Like
Thereabouts.
these teams that have like 6 losses at this point, you're getting to the point where you lose one or two more and you're basically out of it. Although you never really know if it's going to take 9 or 10 wins to get to the playoffs. So especially with that seventh team, but like the Jets are 2-6, like the Giants are 2-6. Like you lose two more, you got to win out to get to 9-8. So it's really it's nut cutting time, if you know what I mean. All right.
Got to figure themselves out.
Okay, so the next game we got the Dolphins at the
We
Bills.
do have that, yeah.
I went Bills by 9.
I have the Bills giving 7. I need to.
You win.
I do.
It is
What?
close
Is it? Is
to.
it?
It's like 6, I think.
It is.
Open at
6.
6.5, and it's down to 6.
And it's Apple. I don't know. I thought I went low here. I was too conservative, but I guess not. I just what has Miami shown you that they're going to hang with the Bills? And the Bills have had Miami's number.
Absolutely. I don't think the Dolphins have beat the Bills. I have to look at this. Even since how long Josh Allen been in the league? Like 6 years?
It's been a long time.
I have to look back, but
Like
I don't think the
7 years.
Dolphins have beaten the Bills much at all. So this is another one where I'm sort of torn. It's like it's way lower than I thought, which makes me want to like the Dolphins, but the Bills just seem to always blow out the Dolphins.
They do. Over the last several years, it feels like the Bills just have the Dolphins number. The Dolphins aren't playing very well. They're just not. I know they had some turmoil, with the quarterback and their backups aren't great.
Yeah. So I mean, Tua's back. The Dolphins lose to the Cardinals on a field goal at the buzzer. So obviously the Dolphins are going to play better when Tua is playing, but they still don't. Like they should have been able to win a home game against the Cardinals. So I don't know. Maybe Tua looks better this week. 2 games back in, and they somehow cover. But I don't really like it either way. It just feels like the Bills are always going to blow them out. To me.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do the Chargers at the Browns. Jameis Winston's Browns. I have the Chargers by 1.5.
I went the other way. I have the Browns giving 3.5.
Whoa.
I know.
You do not like the Chargers. You're not high on
No,
them.
I'm not. I am not.
Okay.
I'm not.
It is Chargers
1.5.
open at 2.5. It's down to 1.5.
Yeah, you got it exactly. Exactamundo.
Okay, so I'm a little surprised it's moving that way. Like I'm surprised people like the Browns, but so the Browns just beat the Ravens. Jameis Winston let them down. They score with like 30, 40 seconds left. I think the defense kind of bit up because they thought they were going to just try to get yards for the field goal, and Jameis threw a touchdown to Tillman. So I don't remember exactly how I worded it last week, but I'm sure you heard me say, or if you remember, it's a divisional game at home. There's not a lot of tape on Jameis Winston. He hasn't played a lot lately. It's going to be a tough prep probably for the Ravens. It's a bad spot for the Ravens. And what happened? The Browns were in it the whole game, and they ended up like they were never. It was never in jeopardy of them not covering the 9 or whatever it was. So now Jameis got a win under his belt. The Browns are on a high. Now, is this the week or is it going to be next week when it all comes crashing down? There's a reason why Jameis Winston hasn't been a starting quarterback in the league consistently. It's because
not good enough.
He'll play well for a week or two, and then he'll throw 17 picks.
Yeah.
I think the Chargers defense is going to clamp down. Yeah. I really like the Chargers here. I think it was just kind of a little bit of, I don't know if smoke and mirrors is the right phrase, but Browns got one last week. They beat the Ravens. People are going to kind of overrate them in the short term just because of who they beat. And I think they're going to come back down to earth. I think Jameis is going to struggle with the Chargers, and I think the Chargers are going to cover this. I'm going to go 3 stars on the Chargers. And if you remember,
Yeah.
my 3-star picks are 7-3 this year, which is pretty good.
I should start making your 3-star picks my 3-star picks.
Oh,
Be a way to
strategy.
improve
Hey,
my
you can do it
my record. I don't know. Just something about the Chargers that makes me really unconvinced that they're a good team, even though at this point they are the 7th seed in the AFC, so they're technically a playoff team. We can talk about them in that context, but I don't know. They just don't wow me. And as good as Herbert is supposed to be, he's just nobody has ever like, oh, did you see what Herbert did this weekend?
Well, it's because they just run the ball and play defense.
Well,
It's
right.
just very boring. I agree with you.
It is, and good. Maybe he can take them to a Super Bowl, but I don't know. Do you really want to watch that Super Bowl? I guess it's
Yeah.
the Super Bowl, so yes. But I mean, maybe none of the success or the preceding playoff games. I don't know. There's something about it I don't like, and I thought the win over the Ravens was pretty important. I don't know, man. Like the Ravens aren't even winning their division, and the Broncos are beating them right now in the playoff standings. They have the same record. I mean, at what point?
And those
we
2
just
teams
said-
play this week. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. I don't. I'm not going to put anything on this, but I do like the Browns here.
All
I
right.
do like the Browns. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, trash battle.
I'm a-
Battle. Sorry.
3-2. Oh yeah. Ugh. This next game may get canceled, so
The
keep an eye on it.
Stench, yeah.
We have the Patriots fresh off their win against the Jets. Yes, they did win another game at the Tennessee Titans.
So we have finally benched Will Levis, I think.
For good.
Well, used to say for good, but I don't think he started last. I think it was Mason Rudolph.
Well, Christmas is coming. Rudolph the Red. No. Okay. I have Titans by 2.
Oh, shoot, we're doing this. I have the Titans also giving 2.
What? Okay, I think we're gonna tie that one.
Yeah.
So it opened at 3.5, and it is mostly 3.5. Titans. So we tie that one. I'm up 3-2. We got 1 tie. I mean, this is the toilet bowl. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it unless you have something to say. But
No.
the Patriots won a home game against the reeling Jets. The Titans got blown out, like lost by whatever,
Yeah.
38 points to the
Lions.
Lions. It sure seems like the Patriots have a little bit of fight in them and the Titans don't.
Mhm.
Like the Patriots still are trying.
Yeah.
Titans right now would get the number 1 draft pick if it stayed the way it is.
They're the only 1-win team.
I believe so, yeah. Although who did so the Panthers beat the Raiders. Who else did the Panthers beat?
Oh, that's a good question.
We gotta look that
Panthers
up.
Okay, I will look that up.
I can't think of another win, but I think the
Panthers only have 1 win.
they do.
Yeah, so the Panthers and the Titans are 1-win teams. Saints, Giants, Jets, and Patriots, Jaguars, Raiders, Browns, Dolphins are all 2-win teams.
Holy
That's a lot
Lord.
of 2-win teams.
Man, what I don't think there's been a lack of parity in a long
No,
time.
most of it lives on the AFC though.
Yeah.
1, 2,
Huh. Okay, so I don't
6
understand.
2-win teams in the AFC. Sorry, that's just staggering.
Yeah,
6
that's bad.
plus a 1-win team. That is Stinko Village.
I wonder what the record like when an AFC team plays an NFC
Yeah.
team. I wonder what the overall records for those matchups
Oh
are.
yeah,
It's got to be like super
very
lopsided.
lopsided. Yes, yeah,
Which
I think historically has probably been the other way
right.
in recent
Oh,
vintage.
yeah.
The AFC being the better
I
conference.
agree with that.
Yeah,
So the Titans minus 3.5 here. Why?
I don't know. Why not a push it? Why not a pick 'em?
What? I mean, what? Or 3? Like 3 is
Yeah.
fine. You say they're both bad, and
Yeah.
the Titans are. Like, why is it 3.5?
That's no good.
Like, makes me think there's something there.
What's his name? Got a concussion, right?
Well, Drake May,
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Is he? He's not like him and Brissett are basically a wash at this point.
Yeah.
Like I do
know.
like
Weird.
his potential. Like I think he
Yeah.
could become a pretty good quarterback, but
He ran
I
for a
don't know if
touchdown.
that really matters.
No, I don't know. This is a weird line. I don't like the Titans.
Yeah, the line tells me take the Titans,
Yeah.
but I don't know how you trust them. And then, like the Patriots still seem like a little bit better team, but you can't trust them either. So I don't have an opinion. I ain't giving you no opinions on that. No, I'm not. Okay. Cowboys at the Falcons.
Oh boy. Okay.
Falcons by
Abandoned ship.
5, I said.
I got 4.5. Give me 4.5.
You win, you win. It's like 3 or 2.
Is that?
Yeah, yeah. Where is it? Up here.
Oh no. Falcons. It's Trace.
Open at 3 and it is
Trace
3.
Blake Days. I mean, I like the Falcons here. I don't know that I like them as a team, but I think I definitely like them better than the Cowboys. Falcons at 5-3. I'll say a rather, to me, surprising 5-3. Have, I think, wrest the division away from the Buccaneers, who for now seem to be floundering a bit, not in the playoffs currently. I think I definitely like the Falcons to win this game, and maybe for Mike McCarthy to be fired.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of keeping them at this?
Clearly, it's not working. It's not. You never got the playoff success you wanted, even though you had the regular season. Now you don't even have the regular season. It's just this whatever his plan is has failed.
Yeah, I agree. So you like the Falcons here. Okay, so I think I don't sometimes I talk about like it seems like there's a bias towards teams like people like more people than not like kind of like the Cowboys or think they're going to do better than they do. So I guess this Falcons -5 and it's only 3. So I think maybe part of that is that like people like to back the Cowboys a little bit, but I think there's something else there. It just seems like this year when the Falcons have had some success, then they dropped that one at home to the Seahawks, and then they win a game, and now like they're gonna drop one to the Cowboys. It just feels like it's a game where the Cowboys maybe win the game or at least keep it close. Even though I don't think I think they're an inferior team. It just seems like in a given week, this is one of those where it just feels like the Cowboys are gonna maybe win the game, but they're bad. Like they're just not very good at football.
It's not a cohesive team.
So
they're just not.
How much do you trust them? I don't know, but
I don't.
it just feels like the Cowboys is the right side. For that reason, I'm gonna go Cowboys, and I'm gonna do 2 stars on the Cowboys.
Some people call me a space cowboy. Other people call me gangster love.
Okay, we are roughly halfway through, and we're gonna go Raiders at the Bengals.
Bengals.
I went Bengals by 6.5.
Oh, I underbid this. I went 4.
It is 7.5.
Big
Open at 8.5. It's down to 7.
Big number. 8 was a big number. 7's a big number. I know it's at home. But...
So I get that one. I take the lead by 1. All right. The Bengals. So I didn't watch much football this weekend, but I was checking my phone. My son is a Bengals fan. Bengals were up by, well, it was 7-0. And then I looked back and all of a sudden, like the Eagles were up by like 2 or 3 scores. And I was like, how did that happen so quick? I never really did go back and look what happened, but I don't know. Like the Bengals are still broken. Like they should have been competitive in that game and they just really weren't. Like if you can't be competitive with the Eagles, who are probably a playoff team, like if you can't at least keep it close at home, you're kind of, I don't know, you might be toast. So this one, it's 7. So we both were low on that. I think some of that, we talked about this before. It just seems like the Raiders have kind of quit. It's like, oh, O'Connell's gonna play at quarterback instead of Minshew, and then he gets hurt, and it's just a mess. Like I don't know what they got going on there. 7 seems like a fair line. I missed it by a half a point. I don't know. Like I could see the Raiders winning this game because the Bengals have just underperformed most of the year, and I could also see the Bengals blowing out a bad team and like staying in the hunt. So I don't know.
I just this iteration of the Bengals, this season's Bengals seem like another team you just shouldn't ever favor by 7 points. because they just haven't shown you that they're good enough to do that against whatever competition. And it's weird. It's a weird team. The only team to have playoff success against the Patrick Holmes machine is the Bengals, and they're floundering. I think maybe that's some of too of what we're seeing here in this number is that just legacy wise, the last three-ish years, the Bengals have been a great team. When Burrow's been healthy, they've been one of the best in the sport, and that for whatever reason hasn't materialized this year. So this almost seems like a legacy number more than anything.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's fair enough, and I just don't have an opinion on
Yep.
that one. All right, let's do another one.
This one's weird too. This is
The
another weird one.
Broncos at the Ravens. The Broncos have kind of silently been like they've won like 3 in a row. I
They're
think.
5-3.
And the Ravens just dropped a turd against the Browns.
Also 5-3.
Call it a Browns turd.
A Browns, if you will.
Yeah.
A Cleveland Steamer, perhaps.
I said the Ravens would be favored by 6.5.
I got 3.5. It is 9.
Niner. Did I catch a
Nine.
niner in there?
You did. Niner. Yeah, Niner.
All right, I get that one. We both weren't that close.
No.
So, okay, what's interesting to me is the Ravens have one of the best offenses in the league, if
Yeah.
not the best. The Broncos have one of the best defenses in the
Yeah.
league. So that's going to be interesting to see what gives there. The Broncos are on a high. The Ravens are on a low. They just lost to the Browns. They feel like they should beat the Browns this year. They didn't beat them. So I kind of get why it's high. It's like it seems like the Ravens are going to show the Broncos that they're not that good. Like they might be 5-3. They might have won a few in a row. Knicks is playing better, but I kind of said this when the Bills came and visited the Ravens. I'm like, it just seems like a spot where the Ravens are going to take care of business.
Mhm.
Now, 9's a lot, especially with how good the Broncos defense is. Like 9 is so much. So I've said this a lot this week. Like I'm just torn.
Yeah.
I understand it both ways, and I just don't have an opinion.
I mean, so just some really basic analysis.
Stick to the basic.
Yeah. So the Broncos have held people, like total cumulative points against them, 120. That is bested only at this point by the Chargers with a stingy 91.
So that's 15 points a game. You said they're 5-3?
Yes.
So it's 15 point. Yeah, I mean that's good.
That's
right? Like
really
so
good.
if you let's just do some math here. So Broncos have held teams to 15. Okay, the Ravens have a better than average offense. So let's just say they give up 20. So can the Broncos score 12 to cover?
That's right. And so by total cumulative points, the Ravens, by my quick glance, lead the league at 242.
That they've given up.
No, that they've scored. They're most in the league right now. 242 points cumulatively. So you're talking about the best offense against the second best defense. So this line makes no sense. Like I get you favor the Ravens, they're at home, but by this much, I just
Yeah.
And given their penchant for losing games in the fourth quarter, this feels like this should be much lower. Like 6.5, 6 is right. 5.5.
So Bo Nix on the road, rookie quarterback on the road.
Yeah.
Ravens need to get right.
Yep.
Their defense is going to be ready to go. I don't know. Like maybe the Broncos, maybe this game is a 20-10 game. Like I could see that.
I mean, based on again, like points against for all the current playoff teams in the AFC, they're the worst. Their defense is the worst. They've given up the most, 209 points.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think you could make a good case for both sides, and I'm not giving you anything on that one.
No, I don't know, man. I'd take the Broncos here. You give me the Broncos to cover 2 stars. 2, not necessarily to win, but to cover 9 points.
You like a horsey to beat a
bird? Yes,
bird?
I do.
Like a nasty bird.
I do.
And it's Halloween. You're going against the Ravens.
That's
on
true.
Halloween.
That is true. It's a fair point. Luckily, you don't play on Halloween, so then hopefully
Oh,
that
okay. Got it.
balances
So
out.
the
But 9 points
connection
seems bad.
is
Too much.
severed.
Yeah, too much for me.
Uh-oh, we got the Bears against the Cardinals. I know who would win in the Wild, but who's gonna win in the West?
Oh boy.
I had a pick 'em.
I have the Cardinals by 3. 53.
It's in between those somewhere. I think it's either 1 or 1.5.
It is 1. Who knows?
Oh, I barely get it. It's 1. I get it.
Okay. I mean, I guess I get this. The Bears defense is pretty good. I don't think there's any question about that. I thought they did a great job for the most part against, obviously, one play accepted last week. So the Cardinals, they're winning their division. If you had said near at the midway point that the Cardinals would be atop of the NFC West, I would have said no, thank you.
Well, even
there they are.
2 weeks ago, they were 2
That's right. That's right. So I just here's the thing. This definitely feels like a team the Bears could beat. Like given just everything being the same, it's this coach, it's this players. Yes, I feel like the Cardinals can beat or the Bears could beat this Cardinals team, but I don't think they will. And I think I don't know. I think 3 was a better line. But
yeah. So I heard, I think it was on the radio the other day about the Cardinals have basically beaten the bad teams and they've lost to the good teams, but they've had
the Bears.
decently tough schedule.
Yeah.
Pull up the Cardinals schedule if you can.
Yeah.
They lost to the Bills week 1 and they kind of controlled most of the first half. I think they were ahead at halftime, end up losing by 6. And then they got blown out by the Commanders and they got blown out by the Rams, and everything else they either won or
they blew the Rams out.
Oh, they blew the Rams out.
They beat the Rams 41-10.
Who else did they get blown out?
They got blown out by the Commanders.
Commanders and
the Packers.
Packers, that's right.
Yeah. So they've lost to the Bills, the Lions, the Commanders, and the Packers, which I think are 4 of the best teams in the NFL right now. I don't think you could argue
Below the
that.
top 10, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. They've beat the Rams. They killed the Rams. They beat the Niners, that comeback victory. They beat the Chargers. And then they just beat the Dolphins, all granted barely. So you're right. They're beating, although the Chargers are a playoff team technically, they're beating poor teams and they're losing to good teams. That's what the Bears are doing.
Right.
They're beating really crappy teams, which good for them. But they can't seem to figure out the good teams. Even though they played last game relatively close for 3.5 quarters, they were shitty. The Bears were just bad. They've got a shitty coaching staff. Which I think we knew already. And I think the Cardinals better. I think they certainly have the edge there. They probably have the edge at quarterback, or maybe not probably. I think they do at this point. I like the Cardinals here. I like the Bears to be 4-4 and be at 4 wins for maybe the first. No, they play the Patriots soon, but yeah, I like the Cardinals.
Yeah, I don't think the Bears have beaten a decent or good team on the road this year.
Or at home.
I could see the Bears defense playing really well and getting a pick 6 or getting up and maybe holding on.
Yep.
It just doesn't feel like if this is a close game, the Bears win. The Cardinals have kicked 2 field goals to win games at the buzzer the last 2 weeks. So that's probably part of why I'm thinking that way. I don't know. It just feels like a game the Cardinals should be able to win at home, a close game.
That's right.
And if you're a Bears fan, if Caleb can win a close game, maybe have a game-winning drive, that's what you're looking for here. I just don't think it happens.
No, I will say this. I thought Caleb's best performance was towards this coming down the stretch of that game. He showed a lot of grit and not wanting to lose. And I remember one play in particular where it was just that line collapsed on him and it was like do or die. And he just willed that play to work. I think it was a 3rd down play and he just got out of trouble and he slung it not downfield, but he slung it to 10 or whatever yards he needed. And it was right where it needed to be. That was the most hopeful play I think I've seen him make. And if we can see more of that, The Bears maybe have a pretty good future at quarterback if they can figure out the right leadership on that team, right
Yeah.
coaching staff.
So what was I gonna say? Yeah, I mean, it would have been a game-winning drive if you just don't give up a Hail Mary.
Correct.
So like that's
Yeah.
not on Williams. although
No.
they didn't.
Like he did what he needed to do coming down the stretch to win that game.
But I mean, they also didn't score a point in the first half. So
No.
like you can look at it
It's
two
terrible.
ways,
It
but
looked bad.
it does seem like the vibe in around Chicago now is like you're starting to see some of those clutch throws from
Yes.
him. Like he seems to do good things
Yes.
when the game's on the line. So that's obviously all you can expect at this point.
I mean, we're in a town whose football team's penchant is for defense. Is he better than like Trent Dilfer, who won a ring with the Raiders? Or, excuse me, the Ravens? Yeah. Yes. So I don't know, like figure out the offensive line and get a coach who isn't stupid, and you maybe have something the next 5 years.
All right. So I'm
Yeah.
going 1 star on the Cards. I
Makes
don't know.
sense. That makes sense.
We got 5 left. Let's do the Peterson
Oof.
revisiting his Eagles.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the Jags at the Eagles. I have Eagles by 7.5.
I got the Eagles by 6, given 6. You're gonna get it.
I think I
You're gonna
nailed
get
this one.
7.5.
Opened at 7, it went to 7.5.
This just makes sense.
So obviously I got it right on. So it just like the Jaguars have been competitive with some good teams. They maybe should have beat the Packers. Had the lead for a decent amount of the game and just couldn't pull it out.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it was, the Eagles have played better. They've won, I think, 2 or 3 in a row after their bye or something like that.
3 in a row.
It just like I wanted to go 7, and then I'm like, no, like the Jags are pretty bad. Like it should be more than a touchdown. So that's why I settled on 7.5, and that's what it is. So this is, I don't know. Like I nailed the line. It's fair. It'll be interesting to see if the Jaguars can play decent with Peterson's return to Philly. Obviously, it probably has a little more meaning for like if Peterson can beat Philly at Philly, that
Mhm.
maybe like it's like more of like a moral victory for the season since the Jaguars aren't going anywhere. But could be interesting, especially if the Jaguars can somehow win that game. I think
Mhm.
it'll be an interesting storyline, but I don't have an opinion on it.
I mean, given how the Eagles have played the last 3 weeks, this line makes sense. Given how the Jags have played all season, this line makes sense. I don't think there's anything else to say.
Okay, we'll leave it at that then. We got the Los Rams against the Seahawks in Seattle. I said Rams by 1.
I have the Seahawks by 3. Give them 3.
I think I'm right on or close. It opened Seahawks by 1.5 and it flipped to Rams by 1.5. So I didn't quite get it exactly. All right. So what a horrible time for the Vikings to have to play the Rams when they got Kupp and Puka back on the same day.
Yep. And Puka's secret, like he was like on IR, I thought.
Yeah, they activated or they like designated him for return at like 2 or 3 o'clock, and then all of a sudden he's active.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was just bullshit. I was really pissed about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Vikings fan, so like just bad luck on like running into the Rams when they have those guys back. I mean, their offense is nasty with Kyron Williams and those 2 receivers. Like, and then Demarcus Robinson scored 2 touchdowns because obviously you have to put extra guys on Kupp and Puka. And now all of a sudden, the Rams are 3-5.
Yeah.
And like, if they stay healthy, they're a playoff
division.
team.
Yeah, they're right. They can win. All they do is need to win the division, and that division is up for grabs. Like they're all 4-4, 3-5, so they're right there. Although
when I think Dre Greenlaw's about to come back from his Achilles injury that he had in the Super Bowl for the Niners, and then obviously
McCaffrey's going to come back at
McCaffrey, and then Juwan Jennings has been out. I know he's the number 3 receiver, but now with Ayuk
and Debo both
done. Well, Debo played, but then got hurt a little bit again. I don't know if he's out this week. And then Ricky Pearsall has been steadily improving, like
Yeah.
getting more targets, catching balls.
Yeah.
He had a good game against the Cowboys.
Yes.
It's like the Niners are going to get healthy and they're going to make a run
Mhm.
too. I mean, they're 4-4, not where they wanted to be, but I mean, you start looking at like like the Cardinals are leading the division, but you start looking at the Rams getting healthy and the Niners getting healthy. Those two teams could definitely, I would say, are playoff caliber teams if they stay healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's no question. They have, you make an argument McVay's like the best coach in the league right now.
Keeping them above water with what's going on. Yeah.
No question.
Yeah.
He's got a resume that speaks to it. I mean, obviously it's Andy Reid, but right there is McVay
For sure.
or Tomlinson. Like,
yeah. And I mean, what his former assistants are like have like 5 head coaching jobs elsewhere.
They're all yes. That's his coaching tree is unreal, and I guess so by extension, Shanahan's coaching tree is incredible. But because all of them, I think, were on Shanahan's staff too at one point. But
well, wasn't Shanahan under McVay though?
no, I think it was Shanahan was. This goes back to the Redskins, and I thought Shanahan was the guy, and then
like
McVay was under Shanahan in Washington.
Father Shanahan. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, but yes, Kyle Shanahan was on that staff too, and they were under him. I thought wasn't Shanahan the maybe they didn't. Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe they didn't report up through to Kyle Shanahan, but they were all like him, McVay, LaFleur, were all on the. I don't know about O'Connell, but they were all on the Washington's coaching staff.
Kyle Shanahan and McVay both worked together on Washington in 2013.
Yeah, Shanahan was the OC.
Okay, so and then they split off, so they weren't okay. Got it. All right, so Kyle Shanahan did not work underneath McVay.
No, Shanahan. McVay was the tight ends coach under Shanahan as the OC.
Got it. Why was he a tight ends coach? There's no way he played tight end. He's like
it's just like at some point, yeah. At some point, you just I don't know. You just have enough football.
You go over there.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Weird. So let's get back to this. So Rams by 1.5.
Yeah.
The Seahawks just don't seem to be very good. The Rams are trending in the right direction. Like I can't not like the Rams with healthy receivers in this game. Like they're just the better team, and I mean, both teams feel like they need it, but the Rams probably need it a little bit more to get to 4-5.
Yeah.
I'm going Rams for sure on this one. I'm going to go 2 stars. Can't go 3, but I'm going to go 2. Because it almost seems like they should be favored by more, so I'm a little hesitant, but I still like it.
Yeah. I mean, I like it too. I just the Seahawks don't seem like they're going anywhere. Rams just feel like a team maybe come down the stretch you don't want to play.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, we got the Lions at the Packers. I have Lions by 3.
I have the Lions by 3.5. Give it 3.5.
I think
you're gonna get it now. Lions by 2.5.
Oh, it came down. It was 3.5. It came down to 2.5.
Great, another great game, another great divisional matchup.
So I get that one. Yeah. So is Love playing?
So he I think is questionable or out at this point. I don't think they've made a decision, but I do think he's out at this point. Check my fantasy.
I guess this with him out, this line doesn't make sense a lot to like. I get it's a divisional game. It's in Green Bay.
He's questionable,
but this almost tells me that he's maybe almost 100%. Like he is fine.
Yeah.
Because I just don't know how the Lions don't win by a field goal against Malik Willis.
Yep.
Although Willis has played very well when he's been in there, so I don't know. Maybe I need to stop hating on him.
The world needs to stop hating on Malik Willis.
Road favorites are tough. I lean Lions here for sure. I just can't quite it seems weird that the line is that low. So I don't know.
I mean, the Lions have scored 42, 47, 31, and 52 points over the last 4 weeks. So their offense is doing okay. The Packers
At
are
what
good.
point
but-
does someone figure them out? Like, like
I don't know.
no NFL team is that good that like in spurts you can be, right? But like you're not gonna score 30 plus for like 2 months. Like there's gotta be something they're doing where you can kind of limit it a little bit, but no one seemed to be able to do it. So that I think they're gonna get figured out a little bit down the stretch here. But I don't know. We'll see.
They look really good. I mean, and whatever happens this weekend, they look really good.
Yeah.
I still think I actually kind of like the Packers though here if Love plays. They're just due for a loss. You just lose games sometimes when you play football.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a winner and a loser.
That's right.
And
That's right.
the Chiefs are the only team who haven't been the loser yet. But
Yeah.
if you think they're going to win all the games, I don't think you're right.
No, I don't think so either. Although having said that, the Packers are on a longer winning streak right now than the Lions are, so maybe the Packers are ones due for a loss.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, for the Bears and Vikings' sake, what do we want? Obviously, we want the Lions to lose. Right?
Yeah, we do. I mean, just in terms of the divisional, yes, the more because they're right now they're only one loss, so we definitely want them to lose. But, if the Packers lose, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
2 left. Colts at the Vikings. This is the rematch of the
Yes.
Vikings overcoming the 33-0 deficit. Was it last year or 2 years ago? I don't remember, but I think Matt Ryan the quarterback at that time. I think he was. Anyway, I have the Vikings by 6.
I have the Vikings giving 3, and it is 5.5.
Open at 6 and it's down to 5.5. So I get that one.
Gonna win the week.
Flacco's starting. They're benching Richardson.
They did because he got tired.
Yeah, he did get tired. He
Come
was
out of the
running
game
a
because he's
lot.
tired.
Yeah.
Football's hard.
Don't make him run so much.
No, football's hard.
Get open. Very fair line to me. In a way, I was thinking maybe it is closer to 3. Like it feels like what the Vikings have done lately, they're more regressing towards
They've lost 2 in a row. So
more of an average team. But I don't know. The Colts. I think the Colts have been kind of. I don't know. They've beaten bad teams. Like they haven't really shown a lot. Like their record's okay, but their schedule hasn't been difficult. So I don't know. Like it makes sense why it's close to a touchdown. Flacco kind of scares me. I would rather Richardson be playing. To be honest with you, I think Flores could definitely like fool Richardson easier than he could Flacco, but. I don't know. I mean, Flacco's not very mobile either. Like you can come after him and blitz him. It'll be very interesting to watch that dynamic. I don't have an opinion here. I obviously want the Vikings to get back on track after losing 2 in a row. And I don't know if it's going to happen or not.
Yeah, I don't either. It's just the Vikings. This was 2 weeks ago. I would be all over the Vikings here, but I'm just not so sure.
Yeah. So I said this earlier that teams tend to figure out Flores like from time to time. Like sometimes he has really good games, but sometimes you can kind of expose it. Like if he blitzes too much, like you can kind of score on them a lot. And so the Lions and the Rams did that the last 2 weeks, although a healthy Lions and healthy Rams offense are 2 of the better ones I would probably say in the league. So I don't know. That's obviously the key. Can the defense get back on track and kind of hold the Colts down? And then I don't think the Colts defense has been very good. Can the Vikings? So Darisaw, the Vikings left tackle, tore his ACL, so he's out. And if you watch the second half of the Rams Vikings, Darnold had no time because their backup is not even close to as good. So they actually traded for Cam Robinson of the Jaguars, and I called that this week. I'm like, they have to trade for a left tackle or they're just screwed. Like, and they did, and he obviously must be a pretty good tackle. So they gave up some draft capital, traded for him. I think it's the right move to compete, to hopefully make a playoff run and maybe compete for a Super Bowl. So hopefully he pans out, and I hope the Vikings win, but I don't know if they will. We got one left, and we got the banged up Bucks against the charging Chiefs.
Yes.
I have the Chiefs by 8.
I have the Chiefs giving 5.5. This is going to be low.
And it's more than 8.
Yes,
even,
it's
I
like
think.
10 or 11 or something like that. It's big. It's a big number. Oh, no, it's not. It was 8.5, and it's 8.5.
8.5.
I thought it was big.
So I get that one.
Yeah.
Kind of a, I don't know, I don't know if boring's the right word, but can we get primetime games where like people are healthy in skill positions and like
Probably.
it's expected to be a competitive game? Like,
It's asking a lot, man.
I guess. Like, I don't know how you think the Bucks win this game with. I'm assuming Evans isn't going to be back.
Yeah.
Godwin's done for the year. The Bucks did play the Falcons close, but they just didn't have enough Jims and Joes to get it done last week. I could see them being competitive again here, but I just like I don't know. I don't think they win this game. I just don't think they have enough.
No, the Chiefs defense has been, I think, one of the unsung, maybe the unsungest hero of this season so far. Going back to total points against, they're at 123. That's just a little tick worse than the Broncos and the Chargers, like overall. Now, granted, their points for, they've only scored 173, and the Bucks are way, way above that by about 70 points, but both of their star receivers are gone. So I don't know. And Baker likes to throw an interception or two.
He likes to.
I mean, given
Seems
how many,
like it.
yeah, I mean, he throws, it feels like he's got to enjoy it just a little bit. He'd stop throwing so many. This just, I don't know. This seems like a big line for this Chiefs team. I didn't think they're probably going to win, but I don't know they're going to win by 8.5.
Yeah, they just haven't been really blowing anyone out.
No.
You heard me say last week, like these divisional home dogs just seem to cover. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like they should. And what did the Raiders do? They lost by what, 7, and the spread was like 8 or 9. So that's not in play here, but
it feels similar.
Going back to that. So this is not a divisional home dog, and it's the Bucks on the road. And I don't know. Fair line 8.5. Bucks are banged up. They're the worst team. They're on the road. It should be more than a touchdown, and it's fair.
Yep. I agree. I haven't given a 3-star pick. I'm gonna cheat. I want to get.
Don't feel like you have to.
No, I do.
Last week I didn't give a 3-star.
Bills. Give me the Bills for
Bills
to win outright. Well, they have to because they're the favorite. But yeah, Bills win outright and to cover. Bills to cover for sure.
Bills to cover 6.
Yeah, give me that.
For 3.
You know what? I'm gonna go Bucks. I'm gonna go Bucks there too. Give me
Bucks.
Give me that for 2. I don't think they're gonna win, but I don't think the Chiefs are gonna be 8.5 better.
Okay.
Let's do that.
So going back through, well, one quick thing. You said the Chiefs defense, there was some stat that they haven't given up more than 28 points for like some ridiculous amount of games. I'd have to look back through it, but I wanted to say it's like 20 some games they haven't given up more than 28, which is pretty crazy.
It is, considering what the offense is the face of that football team. But this year especially, it's not what's winning them games.
Yeah. All right. So let's go back through the picks. Yeah. Josh has the Texans +2 tonight against the Jets. I have the Giants +4 against the Commanders for 2 stars. Josh's Texans pick was 1 star. I don't know if I said that. Josh has the Bills for 3 stars, -6. Yeah. I have the Chargers 3 stars.
Yeah.
On the road, -1.5 against the Browns. I have the Cowboys 2 stars +3 at the Falcons. Josh has the Broncos 2 stars +9 at the Ravens. I have the Cardinals -1 at home, 1 star against the Bears. I have the Rams on the road -1.5 against the Seahawks for 2 stars. And the last but not least pick of the week, Josh has the Bucks +8.5, 2 stars at the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Hopefully the game tonight is very spooky and fun.
Yes.
Go Vikings!
Go Bears.